Oh, I see we're recording now. That sounds good. Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's nice to see a lot of you made it out. Really happy to be here. For those of you who aren't familiar with TechBoomers, which is I'm assuming probably most of you, um, my team and I launched TechBoomers.com in early 2015. And since then, we've been looking to build awareness and meet people and organizations in the digital literacy and technology space that have similar goals and values to build relationships. And I've been lucky to connect with a number of people involved in the APCUG since we launched. And I just want to say that I love the work that the organization is doing, and I definitely appreciate the opportunity to share the Tech Boomer story with everyone here today. So starting off with, I guess, who the presentation is aimed at. It's really anybody involved in digital literacy at all. That includes tech beginners, just that are learning how to use technology, which is our main audience. Also those familiar with tech and the internet, but are maybe looking to expand their horizons and try out new types of websites and online services. And then also those who are tech savvy, but have friends that are that they're looking to encourage to learn how to use technology. Tech Boomers can be a great resource to recommend to someone. And finally, those who teach digital literacy. A big part of our mission is to support organizations and people that do teach digital literacy, just by offering our website for them to use free, to just kind of support their organizations or personal goals. Um, so as far as what's going to be covered, I like to start with the importance of digital literacy. I think in a lot of ways some of these are obvious, but um, I think it's always good to go through them and kind of create some discussion around that. Then we'll get into a little bit about what TechBoomers is and who can use it. Then I'll take you guys through a site tour of TechBoomers. We'll chat about all the ways you can use TechBoomers, and then kind of at the end we'll do some questions if we have time. I'd love to hear any feedback, and we're going to actually have a poll as well and let the attendees of this webinar choose which course we create next. Not this Monday, but the Monday after. And I just want to say as well, I'd like this, I think it'd be great if webinar is interactive as possible. So please interrupt me anytime with questions or comments. I'm keeping an eye on the chat window. It might take me a few seconds to notice it, but I will definitely keep an eye, and I'd like to answer questions as you guys have them throughout the process, or any comments at all that you guys have. So please fire away, and we'll take care of them. So jumping into the importance of digital literacy. One of the biggest things, and this might be one of kind of the more obvious ones, but just all the social websites and services out there. Prior it was always about, calling people on the landline, calling family, paying long distance bills, but now there's all these great social websites and services out there where you can stay connected with friends and family in real time and get, obviously with Facebook, you can see photos of friends and family in real time and communicate with them and just see what's going on and stay in touch a lot easier. There are also, as many of you probably know, a lot of free and inexpensive communication tools like Skype out there. Prior to these types of communication tools, pretty much the only way would be to call someone long distance, which can be very expensive. And now there's things like video chat, where you can talk to someone anywhere around the world for free as long as you have an internet connection and Skype. Additionally, you can meet new people with similar interests, whether that's through, whether you're looking for friendships or, a romantic interest, like eHarmony is great. And also the social websites are a great way to receive real-time news and information, or news and information in real time with a site like Twitter. Prior to that, you'd be, watching the evening news. That would be how you would get your news pretty much in the past, or you'd read the morning paper. Now, as soon as a story breaks, you'll get updated about it on Twitter, and you can follow along. So that's a really powerful service. Another great benefit of the internet and the different sites and services out there, you can save money on just about anything. One of my favorites is definitely Netflix. Basically, Netflix does away with all the high expensive cable bills, or potentially can at least. They have thousands of TV shows and movies at your disposal, commercial free, and it's only $7.99. I think it's $7.99 a month, maybe $8.99 now, which is just a great service, right? You can also save money using classified sites to buy used goods or sell them in that sense as well on eBay or a site like Craigslist. There's discount and coupon websites out there, which are awesome. I always recommend Groupon to try out new services. Local businesses are always putting out really great deals where you can save up to 50% or even more, which is fantastic. And travel booking websites and other types of vacation websites. My girlfriend and I, we use basically Airbnb exclusively. It's a way to rent out, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's a way to rent out a house or an apartment or even a room within a house or apartment. Sometimes they'll have a private bathroom or not, but it's super cheap compared to, well, usually at least super cheap compared to hotels. The hosts are usually awesome. They're so friendly and they're willing to give you insight about what are the great local things to do around the house or around the area where you're staying. And best of all, it can really save you a lot of money. Another great benefit of digital literacy and just the internet in general, you can learn just about anything online absolutely free. You can take university level courses at Coursera or Udacity. If you want to, brush up on your writing skills, or if you want to learn about nanotechnology, before you'd have to apply and pay tens of thousands of dollars a year. And now you can just sign up for a course, and most of them are absolutely free, which is just amazing in general. You can search for answers for pretty much anything online, as you guys know, with Google. Kind of have to know the right places to look and the right places, the right types of websites in which you can trust with the information you're seeking. But prior to that, you'd have encyclopedias in the libraries to find answers like that, and it would take a lot more time than it does now to take do a Google search to find information. You can also just discover new interests and passions online. A site like StumbleUpon, I think, is awesome. It's basically you click a button and they take you to a random website or a random page on a random website that other people have liked, and they will choose that one based on your interest. So it might be an article about a topic that you've liked in the past. Could be a website or a tool that the StumbleUpon thinks you like, but it's just a great way to kind of discover new things that you can learn about as well. And then one of my favorite websites out there is TED.com. It's a great way to stay up to date with the world of science and technology. Basically, they have these events called TED Talks around the world, and they basically experts in all kinds of fields, including science and technology, present their findings. It's kind of like presenting a thesis about a specific topic, and you can watch the videos for these events online for free, and just kind of the very cool, different, based on your interest, you can find some really, really cool things, again, especially about science and technology. And technology can just make life easier in so many ways. You can shop from the comfort of your own home with a site like Amazon or eBay, as I mentioned earlier. File storage and other cloud-based apps like Google Docs. I love using Dropbox. It's a great way to make sure your files are always safe in the cloud. My computer, my laptop broke down about 3 weeks ago, and they had to wipe the whole hard drive. I couldn't get anything back, and if I didn't have everything saved on Dropbox, I would have been in trouble. There are other alternatives where you can set up your own kind of backup server or whatnot. But Dropbox just makes it so much more convenient, and it's a great way to easily share folders and files with other people, whether it's photos with family members, or in my case, it's work files of many kinds, including this slideshow a presentation, this webinar deck that I'm sharing with you guys. That's all on the cloud, and it's just a great convenient service to use. There are a lot of family monitoring apps out there as well that can make life a lot easier, whether you're have a young one at home or you're taking care of an older relative. There's great new ways to monitor their health and just other aspects of their life wirelessly and while you're on the go. we're starting to partner with a lot of organizations in the aging well space, and the aging in place movement is really growing where people want to stay at home and continue, living their life as long as, or staying at home as long as possible versus going to a retirement center or a place like that. Um, and these types of family monitoring apps make that a lot more possible, where the children of the older adults can, just monitor different aspects. So it's really cool stuff. There's a lot of new technologies coming out that make that very, very seamless and great for both the person being monitored, so that they're always in touch, and with the obviously with the person doing the monitoring as well, or just keeping an eye and making sure everything's going well at home. Two other great obvious ones for me are Google Maps, get directions. Obviously, there are GPS units, or there have been those prior to Google Maps, but Google Maps is just a great service to, you can use it on any mobile device. You don't have to pay $100 for a separate piece of hardware for GPS. Just fantastic. And Google Maps also has very cool things like Google Earth, where you could basically look from a satellite's perspective. This isn't, doesn't necessarily makes life easier, but it's just a really cool feature where you could, point and click anywhere in the world and take, see where, see what that piece of land looks like from the satellite's view. So the Rocky Mountains or anything, it's just fantastic. And Yelp is a great one that my girlfriend and I use whenever we're traveling to a different place, or even at home we're looking for a new restaurant, a place to eat out, or just another type of business where we're looking to buy something. Yelp is a great place to find places to go, and local businesses. And it's all a review-based system, so the ratings are very honest, and can help you find some great local places. But I'd say most importantly, digital literacy will protect you online. And I hate to break it to you, everybody here at the APCUG, you guys are all, into technology, excited about it. So you're probably not worried about, everything going online too much. But some other people are, resist that. But the thing is, everything is eventually, going online, including different aspects of the government. I've learned recently about different forms that you can only fill out online. Filing your personal taxes at the year end. I would bet within 10 years that will only be done online, and a bunch of other things as well. And as things like that are going online and they're very important, you really need to make sure you're protected online, because there are, for all the great things out there that the internet offers, there are people out there that are trying to take advantage of people that aren't protecting themselves online. So really what you need to do is, I'm sure a lot of you know, first of all and foremost, you have to understand the dangers of the internet. And it can really be broken down into two types, safety and privacy. And they are similar, but they're definitely different. On TechBoomers, we have a course, and I'll kind of show you guys during the site tour. We have a course on safety that's 18 different tutorials, and a course on privacy that I think is 12, I think, or maybe 13. That it's just so important to make people aware of what these dangers are. So understand them. That's number one. Use proper protection, whether it's antivirus software. That's a no-brainer. Everybody should have some kind of antivirus software installed in their computer. There are free solutions out there. I would usually recommend to use a paid solution, just because they are that much more thorough with their protection. But at the very least, use a free one. At least start with a free one, and then if you want upgraded features, then you can go move to a paid one. And then other tools like password managers. These are fantastic. It's very important to use strong passwords. You don't want to have your password as ABC123 or things like that, because hackers can guess those quite easily, and they can decrypt them quite easily as well. Password managers are these software plugins in a lot of cases to your web browser, where they create super encrypted passwords, and they fill out the form automatically for you, so you don't actually have to type it in every time. So one, you don't have to remember all those passwords, which they get to be a lot more complicated when they're not simply ABC123 for all your different websites and accounts. But it's a great way, and it adds a layer of protection for your, for yourself online. Another thing about protecting yourself online is just using best practices when it comes to online safety and privacy. I just mentioned passwords, so a best practice for password is to not use ABC 123. For online privacy, there are a lot of best practices. The biggest thing is just, I think, understanding the privacy limitations of different websites, social media websites. It's best to assume that nothing you post in social media is private. Anything you share, even if it's shared somewhat privately, can always be reshared by someone, unless it's like a direct message on Twitter or a personal message on Facebook. But regardless, it's important to use best practices for online safety and privacy. And also, it's important to stay up to date with new internet threats and risks. I'm sure some of you might recall, somewhat recently, I think one of the biggest kind of internet hack sessions that went on was Heartbleed, where passwords were released and a group of hackers, or there was I forget the exact technical details, but basically on a lot of the most popular websites on the internet, your password was not secure anymore, so you had to update it. And that's something that we on TechBoomers and our social media and a lot of other websites too, because it's so important. You just have to have some kind of outlet to stay up to date about new types of risks and threats and what's going on in the online safety and privacy kind of space. So, if we can all agree that digital literacy is important, whether it's to expand your horizons, to use different sites and services, the next question is where to learn digital literacy. It's it's very difficult for someone to sit down at a computer for the very first time and obviously just learn on their own, because especially if they've never used a computer or even a smartphone before, it's just so foreign, right? Even using a mouse can be just an odd experience for someone that has no idea how it works. So it's always best, the number one spot I think in the past have been friends and family, at least for that initial intro, showing someone how to use a mouse and a keyboard and browser and just all the very basic things. There's a lot of great in-person training outlets out there as well. These are awesome places to learn, the basics and beyond as well. The user groups and computer clubs, obviously. Libraries are another great resource. They run a lot of classes. There's a handful of nonprofit organizations across Canada and the US that teach all types of digital literacy and how to use computers and that. SeniorNet is one of them. OATS is another. The AARP has their own TEK Tech or kind of sub-organization. So the best bet to find those ones, just research online. Libraries are a great resource. They know about a lot of them, obviously the ones they run, but also others, and ask around, and eventually you'll likely find some, especially if you're in a medium-sized city. If you're in a smaller town, you might have to travel a little bit to a bigger town that would likely have them. Also online, you can search for your own resources online. For someone who's super new to computers, that can be a daunting task for sure. And last but not least, educational websites like techboomers.com. This is what we're about. It's about teaching digital literacy. So I'll get into a little bit about what TechBoomers is right now. So TechBoomers, we offer free courses that teach people how to use popular websites. All of the video and article tutorials on the site are totally free, both for website visitors and our partners that teach technology. And I'll go into a bit of a tour shortly, but basically each website that we teach is a course. It consists of between, let's say, 8 and 20, in some cases they're bigger ones, 25 tutorials. We start off by teaching you the very basics with some articles about, for example, with Facebook, what is Facebook, Facebook review, just to introduce the topic, and then we'll get into a lot of how-to tutorials, how to create an account, how to change your privacy settings, and those types of things. So far today, I think we have about 40 courses, including a few on internet safety, as I mentioned. We add a new course every Monday around noon. And the other thing that TechBoomers is as well, it's a discovery tool to find new websites. As you can see in the kind of screen capture over here, we have different categories across the top. Those are categories of websites. So someone might come to TechBoomers and wanting to learn how to use Facebook because someone told them about our course, but they might start surfing around to the shopping category and click that, and then discover a new type of website that they want to learn how to use. And I think I guess the discovery tool aspect will become more and more valuable and beneficial as we add more courses. I guess a year from now, if we keep adding a course every week, we'll have 50 more, so we'll have close to 100, and there'll just be so many new and different websites to explore on TechBoomers, and that's our goal. In the future, I think it's worth mentioning that we will be looking to move beyond just teaching people how to use websites. We started with that because we saw it as the biggest gap in the market, but we will be looking to move towards different software applications, smartphones, basically any type of technology. We really want to teach on TechBoomers. So why did we build TechBoomers? The idea was inspired by helping my parents learn how to use websites like Facebook and Skype. As I'm sure a lot of you are, I was always the go-to tech guy for my parents and my aunts and uncles and the rest of my big family back home. The problem was I wasn't always available to teach them. This is my second, or I guess third, business that I've run, so I'm always very busy. So one, I'm not always with them in person to teach them, and two, even when I was in town, I was busy running a business. As much as I wanted to help them, I wasn't always there to do that. So I went online, I looked for a website like Coursera, which I mentioned earlier, that has kind of the self-learning education environment. And or basically I was looking for a site like TechBoomers that I could point my parents to and they can learn on their own, and I can answer or help them throughout the process and then answer questions as they come up. But I didn't find anything. I did find a lot of the content that is on TechBoomers, the how-to articles and videos. But the problem was the content I found was on sites like YouTube and WikiHow, and they're user-generated content sites, which means people submit them themselves. The content isn't curated or edited in any way. It's not updated, so content was often out of date, missing steps, confusing, or in a lot of cases, all of the above. So for someone like my mom to go through, like if you search, I think last time I did this about a month ago, how to create a Facebook account. There'll be a video on YouTube in the top 10 results on Google, but the video I think was made in 2010. And Facebook has changed their sign-up process many times since then. So for someone to follow that, the video is basically useless, even though it is in the top 10. So for my mom to find the right how to create a Facebook account video would be a challenge. The content also wasn't written necessarily with an audience like my parents in mind. Obviously, in a non-tech language is important, but also relevant to not just how to use the website, but or like how to technically use it, like where to click and this and that, but also using relevant and meaningful examples to them. And that's something we definitely try to do with TechBoomers. So, for example, when we were chatting about this earlier, a site like Facebook. All the benefits of Facebook, but from the perspective of a parent or a grandparent. Being able to see pictures of your grandchildren every time they're taken, because the parents like to put them on Facebook quite a bit, and as I'm sure you know. So, but I think one of the other biggest issues was all this content. It wasn't presented in a structured learning environment. So using again the example from my parents, she doesn't know what she doesn't know, basically. So she can't go to YouTube and search how to use this feature on Facebook, how to use this feature on Netflix, because she doesn't know what those features are. And she doesn't want to start with the advanced features where she should just be learning the basics. So that's really where I saw the vision for TechBoomers, is to provide the structured learning environment in which people could self-learn, and other organizations can leverage our content, our tutorials to teach as well. And one of the biggest reasons as well, I mentioned this is my third business, but I've always been searching for a more purposeful entrepreneurial venture. And I just saw this as a great opportunity to grow a business, to start a new business, and to help people learn how to use technology, because I really believe it can improve life and for different people in different ways, but definitely for the masses for sure. So next slide. So who is TechBoomers built for? Covered this a little bit already, but I'll go through this quickly. It was built for the 50 plus audience. In general, that's who we were thinking about building it around, because in general, that's the audience that has the limited computer skills. But TechBoomers can be useful for people of all ages, that's for sure. Tech teachers, so anybody who teaches friends and family how to use technology, and then tech training organizations, the libraries, the retirement centers, nonprofits, the user groups as well, obviously. Yeah. So, and just I guess with the tech training organizations, I mentioned this earlier, but we do encourage, and this is, as I said earlier, a big part of our mission is to allow and encourage tech training organizations that have trouble creating content for websites that are constantly changing. Smaller libraries that only have one person teaching technology, and maybe that's even only part of their job description. For them to keep up-to-date courses and content for 20 different tutorials for 5 different websites, it's just overwhelming. So we encourage them to print up our articles, use them as handouts, share our videos with their classes, and just leverage TechBoomers as much as they can. Okay, so now I'm going to hop into a site tour. Feel free, I don't see any questions yet unless I missed them, but if you have any, please fire away. Okay, so I'll hop into... Okay, so this is TechBoomers. We'll just start. So a few months ago, we added the ability for people to create website visitors to create user accounts so they can track their progress. Prior to that, TechBoomers was really a structured library of content, and now people can sign up and create an account and then log in and start tracking their progress. So I'll use, and you can also log in with Facebook or Google. I don't know if you saw that. I'll show that quickly again. Logging in with Facebook or Google is a great way, so you don't have to remember another email and password login. It's a great tool. So you can do that with Facebook or any Google account. So I think it'd be best if I just hopped right into a course. So I'll go with the Facebook course. So to show you a quick tour of this page, I'll close that notification down, although it will probably keep coming up. But so yeah, this is our Facebook course page. We have 18 Facebook tutorials. Like I said, starting with the basics, what it is, pros and cons, glossary, and then getting into actually how to do things, create an account, how privacy works, etc., etc. All of the tutorials, all of the boxes that have the green number and the check mark means I've completed them. And then this is your little progress tracker at the top right to show you how far you are along in the course. So if I were to go to Facebook lists, which is the next one in the order at which I'm taking them, I click that. So now this is the Facebook list tutorial. So yeah, we have videos. Unfortunately, the sound isn't hooked up. I'll play it just so you can kind of get an idea about what a video looks like. But in general, we basically just kind of take them on a guided tour of how to do something or how to use a feature. So in this case, how to use Facebook lists. So yeah, and then we also have the article version of it. So how to create a list is the topic that we start with after we describe lists. How to add friends to a list, how to manage lists, a whole bunch of different kind of all aspects of lists, how to use them, why they're important and why they're useful. Once you're done the tutorial, you click one of these buttons, mark as completed, and the tutorial is now completed. So on the previous course page, I'll show you in a minute, this tutorial will be checked off and marked green. And then you move on to the next tutorial, or the previous tutorial if that's what you want to do. As I mentioned, you can print any tutorial. So it basically just makes a PDF file that you can save to your computer, or you can print, or you can also email it to a friend if you think someone might find one of our tutorials useful. And on that note, with sharing, being able to share tutorials and pages, for pretty much every page on our website has the ability to share with other users or with friends and family through either email or social media. So for example, they are in the left column right here, and also in the far right over here. So if you think someone in your Facebook following, one of your Facebook friends would find it useful, you just click the Facebook share button right here, and then yeah, you add a little comment. Hey mom, check this out. And then you could share the link down here, and it'll be posted right on your timeline, or directly on a friend's timeline if you want. Totally up to you. So it's a great way to kind of spread the knowledge. So you can go back to the course page as well. As I mentioned, the list one should be clicked off now. So yep, now we've done 8 of 18, and that one's checked off. And then yeah, you basically just work your way through. We have some extra tutorials at the bottom that aren't part of the course, but just kind of extra resources like how to change your passwords, how to reset your password. Alternatives, we always like to recommend other websites that are similar to the one they're learning about in case they don't like it for whatever reason. And then how to delete your account is one that we always want to give our users the option, especially with social media websites. It can be complicated how to create accounts, or sorry, how to delete accounts. At the bottom of every page, except for the home page, we have a comment section as well. This is a great way for our visitors to give us feedback, whether it's a new tutorial they think we should add to this course, or whether it's on a tutorial page and they have a recommendation, or in a lot of cases, they'll let us know about something that isn't fully up to date with the article. Like if Facebook changed how a button looks that they have to click when they have to manage their Facebook list, they'll let us know about it, and we'll get it updated right away. And yeah, or just give us any type of feedback. Okay, so then we have a page at the top. There's a link at the top called My Courses. These are all the courses that or that I have in this case, been active in. Yeah, so 8 of 18 for Facebook. The Groupon one, I just added it, but haven't completed any tutorials. Yeah, and then at the bottom, once you have completed tutorials, or the entire course, all the tutorials in a course, they'll list them down here, and it won't be in your active courses anymore. So as far as what courses we have, I think they said they wanted this webinar to be about 40 to 45 minutes. Huey, maybe you could fill that, text me a message for the exact timing so I have a better idea where I'm at. But yeah, to take you through some of the categories that we have. This notification basically keeps telling me I need to verify my email, which I apparently haven't done yet. So yeah, to mention that, we also like to give our users pointers of different actions they should take on a website, like confirm and verify their email, just to make it easier to remind them. That's a feature we added actually just a couple weeks ago. But for social, we have a lot of the usual suspects: Facebook, Pinterest, Skype, Twitter, and Gmail. A couple of the online dating websites we've added, Match.com was recent, and then Instagram as well, a very popular course. They got to choose which website course we created next, and it was a webinar with librarians, and they of course chose the library service. You can see it now?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty, so I was just taking you guys on a tour of the different website courses that we offer. We lost a few minutes there, so I'm going to go through these relatively quickly. Here are some shopping websites. I'm sure you're familiar with a bunch of them. Educational websites. I mentioned a couple of them. Stumble Upon. Daily living websites. These are some of the everyday websites that I mentioned in the slide deck that make life easier in different ways. And then since we are generally geared towards the older adult audience, we have some websites or categories that are for websites focused for 50+ adults. Stitch.net